In my never-ending pursuit to find the nicest motor coaches in the world, we found the latest and greatest today. This is a 2023 Liberty Coach. We found the Vice President of Liberty Coach, Frank. How you doing, sir?
Excellent, Andrew. Thanks for coming by. We're really excited to see you, to show you this coach.
Yeah, this is unlike anything we've seen before. What's going on?
Well, this is our brand new first 2023 model year. We just got this coach in. It is fresh off the factory line. It's been here for less than a week. It's got some stuff that we've never built before. It was a custom build for a client that's had, I think, 3 or 4 of our coaches. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that they specifically wanted to do in this quad slide, and excited to show you how it all looks.
Frank, you guys never cease to amaze me. This is a gorgeous coach. What's the story?
Well, this again was a custom unit for a client that we have built 4 units for. They had some real specific criteria for this go around, and it was challenging and exciting at the same time, and it came together pretty awesome.
Absolutely, I would agree. So a quad slide coach, a lot more room inside here. What are what's the biggest advantages of the quad slide?
Well, the quad slide gives you a lot more airspace. This quad is now going into the 3rd year where Prevost has done the flat floor on the passenger side. Unique about this is that when you want to put this unit in, the slide actually goes out slightly. The floor level here in the center will drop down, and then the slide room will transition over the top of that. That was accomplished without losing any bay height at all when that was done. It's worked out fantastically. We really have got a good piece here. The other things that you get out of it mainly is that, airspace, living room space, and then the ability for my brother to work through this arrangement to come up with the most amount of storage possible was really incredible as well.
Going back up to the cockpit up here, I noticed a lot of things. You've got the huge screen, the beautiful 2-tone seats with the diamond stitching. What's some of the stuff going on in the cockpit up here?
Well, the cockpit is exclusive to Liberty Coach. Back in 2016, my brother designed this whole aspect here. You've got 18 different molds that encompass from the driver's left-hand panel all the way across to the entry door. So there's a lot that's going on here. We bought special sewing machines to be able to do the double stitch that you see around there, the same as what you find on the very high-end luxury vehicles today. We also have incorporated a center pillar monitor that is something that we make in-house that pivots out, as opposed to just setting a monitor on the wall or on the pillar. It is built in. There was an option to do the Garmin navigation system over here for the passenger. And then we still have quite a bit of open window space here as well. We have a 55-inch TV that drops down onto the ceiling here and still gives you the ability to see out when you're sitting in the back living area of the coach.
These have to be the tallest windshields in the industry. What's the height of those windshields?
Those windshields are probably going to be a little over 4 feet high. Interesting thought on that, on the H. The H came to be because of the distinction to call it high decker. And this was done so that the passengers on a tour coach would all be able to see over the top of the driver's head. So H became high decker. So that's why the floor level's higher. That's why your bay height is also much higher than you see in most other coaches. H3, 3-axle, 45 feet long.
The pillar in between the 2 windshields, there's 2 windshields instead of a single piece windshield. What is the reason for that?
We have been pushing to keep that arrangement for a number of years, and so have the operators as well. We all know every coach is going to have a problem with a windshield at some point in time. I mean, we can send a coach out west, we can send it anywhere, and sure enough, somebody's going to have a peck in a windshield or a big rock. It's a heck of a lot easier and less expensive to change a single windshield panel out than it is that whole front end piece. Plus, it's very difficult to find people even today to do windshield changeouts. even on these two panes, much less having to do a massive single section.
Now, is that something that Prevost would be able to do? I know there's Prevost service centers all over. Say someone gets a crack in the windshield and they're on the West Coast. How many Prevost service centers are there, and what's the Prevost support?
Well, there's a number of them. If you go onto the Prevost Motorhome website, there's a section there specifically on their service centers. So they have the Volvo truck centers as well as the Prevost service centers. The actual Prevost labeled service centers, you've got New Jersey, Winter Garden, Florida, you've got Chicago, you've got Nashville, Dallas, you've got Mira Loma, California. So there's a number of them that are out there that customers can go to for assistance.
I recently heard of a gentleman in a 98 Liberty coach. It was driving through snow and had ice build up on the radiator, which caused some issues. Prevost service was there within a few hours, and this was on a 98 Liberty coach. What's the support if someone needs roadside assistance on a coach like this?
Well, Prevost has the pass system, which they can call into no matter how old your coach is and get assistance. There's no question about that. We also don't have any issue. In fact, we want our customers, Liberty Coach customers, to call us first. So we as Liberty Coach have a toll-free number for after-hours emergency service that goes through a phone tree with me included on that to make sure that we are always catching an issue that a customer may have. If that doesn't get answered, it goes to a voicemail, which immediately goes to an email, and then we're all emailed on that right away. So somebody's going to respond. We really like the customer to call us first, and then we can go ahead and make the calls to get the right people to them.
And is that something that you have to utilize often, or?
No, not very often.
Yeah.
No, it's not too often that we do, that's for sure.
Yeah, so what else is going on in this coach?
Well, this again is a quad slide. This is our new look interior that's gone over really, really well for the last few years. There's a lot of different surfaces. There's a lot of different textures that are in here as well. One of the really cool things is our waterfall arrangement here with the countertop. This backlit agate panel. People really like this now because it takes the place of a window and in fact gives more light as opposed to a window. And then you don't have to worry about the cleaning of the window or a blind or anything else that's back there. So this has really worked out well. This client wanted to have the Mealy oven, which is a microwave unit as well. We had to come up with a way to be able to vent this induction Wolf cooktop. It was done with a carbon recirculation unit that's in here that had never been done before. Traditionally on a triple or a double slide, when you don't have that slide here, you can do the venting right straight through the roof of the coach. But because we're in a slide room, you can't cut a hole in the roof of the slide. Different arrangement here. You've got the sink under here, and you've got the drain, but came up with a arrangement here for different utensils. Back in here, the silverware. That's all built by Liberty Coach.
Yeah, and then
Good utilization of space.
Absolutely. And then when we open that back up, is that lining there? It's a very high-end material.
Yeah.
Is that from Liberty Coach?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. No squeaks and rattles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Even in the silverware drawer.
All right. This was a really cool arrangement for their specific china that they have in the coach. So you can still be able to get your fingers around it to get everything in and out.
Yeah, and talking about squeaks and rattles, what's the warranty on this coach?
For as long as you own it, to the first owner. No squeaks and rattles.
You're the only person I ever know of that has a warranty on squeaks and rattles, the original owner. What is that?
So the Liberty Coach warranty is we have a lifetime workmanship warranty to the first owner on our coach. That includes squeaks and rattles. We don't tolerate them. I don't tolerate them. I warranty them.
This is a bath and a half coach, but is there any additional sleeping up front here?
This is a jackknife couch that goes down so you can sleep additional people here. If you wanted to on a quad, it makes it a little bit easier. You can also do a convertible sofa that folds out that has the electric air mattress arrangement so that you can have more people in the coach. The interior part that you see in here with the wood moldings, kind of a nice treatment here. This is all soft in here. This is all upholstered by hand, these pieces, and then the lighting is diffused on the back side.
And then I'm noticing as we're talking, there's a large tablet over here, and I don't see any light switches on the walls. How is everything in this coach operated?
So the iPad runs everything that's in the coach. We can go into the lighting on the coach. You can tap the spots that are here, and that will turn on the lighting in that particular area. Your climate, as far as the air conditioning systems, are here. You can go to the floor heat. Those are the zones for the floor heating in the coach. Your power page tells you that you've got shore power here, what your amperage draw is, how the inverter and charger units are performing. Water, we have wirelessly to be able to tell us how our water conditions are as far as the holding tank and the fresh water tank. Our camera system, we have an interior camera in this coach, so you can see that obviously it's pointing toward the back of us right now. We have the 360 camera arrangement on the coach as well. We have the ability on these units to intercom between the iPads as well. You mentioned the fact of not seeing any of the push button panels. We do have push button panels. We have them hidden, so when you do have a situation where you've got Wi-Fi that becomes, you know, a little bit finicky, you can go to a push button panel or a wired panel as well. I do a lot of redundancy in the coach because we all know that you're going to have a hiccup, no different than your cell phone or your computer. So I always like to have the wired aspect available as well.
Talking about Wi-Fi is becoming more and more important to people while traveling. What type of Wi-Fi systems do you put in these coaches?
So for this year, we came up, my son Alex has been investigating and doing a lot of testing on this continuously, and we now have on board a dual 5G arrangement. For an example, this particular coach being inside the building, if we were to test it, we're getting between 112 to 120 megabyte per second download speeds, which is pretty fast being inside of a building. When we get outside the building and into different areas, we're seeing speeds to 200 to 300 meg. Wow. And it's because I believe at some point in time we're going to be streaming all of our video, all of our TV shows, pretty much most all of the time, and transition away from these satellite dishes, which is, we all know in the industry, is probably one of the biggest headaches that we all have. Different material here, the padded upholstered wall, give it a little different treatment.
Yeah, this has been a real popular floor plan. I see this in most Liberty coaches. What do you call this area? What do you call this?
This is our breakfast bar area. So this has been part of our layout scheme now since probably the mid-2000s. It's one of the most popular by far designs that we've ever come up with, and that people have wanted to continue to repeat all the time. I mean, we are seeing people coming in to do L-shaped booths or face-to-face booths, but this by far still is the most popular arrangement. And these chairs, we build these in-house. Every part of this we build, and they are on a slide arrangement as well.
And it looks like you're really utilizing storage. I see some cabinets down here.
There's cabinets all along the bottom here as well. You can put your laptop down there, hook it into this monitor, use a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse to keep everything clean. Cabinet in the front here by the living room. This can house a printer in here. And you've got storage for paper and what have you below. This arrangement here is a nice little shelf area, workspace area for setting up a laptop if you'd like to as well.
And then does
more cabinet storage.
Okay, and then does this chair swivel, so this can be used as an office area?
Yeah, it's a recliner as well, footrest also. This goes into what I was speaking about before, where you have a wired panel for the Crestron systems and applications. The graphics package that you see here is exclusive to Liberty Coach. We've transitioned over to Smart Graphics a few years back and then developed our own graphics package. So we're not tied into anybody else's changes that they make or different aspects that happen because of iOS changes and what have you. So we have our own packages there. We have our own touch panels. Well, these are Crestron touch panels as well. So once again, we have a wired ability to turn lighting on and off or turn features on and off as opposed to always being tied to something that's wireless. This is the mid-bath.
Beautiful design. And what do you, like the chevron pattern? Yeah. Or?
That's something else that we make in-house, and these are all solid doors.
Yes, sir.
All solid. Now, when we go into these doors, like our cabinet doors here, these are going to be a foam core here. This material that we put on the pantry areas because sometimes things get spilled and what have you, so it's easy cleanup. Everything's lighted. Every cabinet that you open up is going to be lighted. Well, the cabinet design, the countertop design, the tile, and this feature that's on the back wall here, the padded arrangement, that's all something that my sister-in-law would come up with. She has an amazing ability. She's got well over 600 coaches underneath her that she's done, and the people just love working with her. She's super easy and very attentive for sure.
The refrigerator there, it almost looks like it's a piece
right?
like a piece of furniture that belongs in the coach.
Right. This is the Fisher Paykel refrigerator freezer unit. It's a pantry style dual door with the the freezer drawer below, and then your ice maker's built into that as well. Closets flushing in the switches so you're not banging on them when you're walking through the hallway.
And it really opens up as we come into the rear suite here.
Well, it is, and you know, we missed on something a little bit in the front. With the slide rooms on this completely in, the coach is still all usable up in the front. You can open the refrigerator without having to bang on anything. You can walk around and sit at the dinette breakfast bar. You can utilize the entire kitchen. I mean, people that have Class A's know what I'm talking about. I've been in them. When you close those things up, there's not even enough room to walk down the hallway with your feet together. So there's a whole different world here in the Prevost aspect.
Beautiful closet doors.
Yep. Closet, drawer space, hamper. Again, this is another full closet here. This is going to be your washer dryer. So this is an ASCO unit that we've installed here, which is a vented unit.
And then behind you, we walked right past it, but dual access doors
Yep.
into your bathroom. And now, is there another door that if you have guests, where you could shut
Yes.
off the middle of the coach?
So there's a pocket door, air-operated pocket door here that comes across. So then you have not shut down the access to the toilet room from front to back.
For some reason, if that pocket air door isn't working, is there a way to manually open it?
In the base of the vanity cabinet, there's an arrangement there of a valve and a push button that you'll hit, and then you can manually run the door. King-size bed here in the back on the quad. We've also got some storage arrangements that we've done on either side of the pillars here, utilizing all the storage possible.
And one thing I'm noticing is it's just so bright in here. The lighting in Liberty coaches is just much brighter than a lot of the other coaches I see. What do you guys do differently?
Well, it goes to the transition many years ago to the LED lighting, okay? So much of the LED lighting was so harsh, and it took a long time to find the correct color. And we have this light fixture now that we've had in place for probably the last, I'm going to say 8 or 9 years, that comes from overseas. It has a dimmable package with it as well, but the temperature is just exactly how it should be. It's really hard to kind of say, but it gives you a really good cool feel to it, but it's very bright as well. And they're not inexpensive. It's a lot different than some of these, you know, change out fixtures that you just do, and they just don't come up correctly on their lighting and their color capacity.
The sconce lighting there behind the bed, just stunning. Is that something that Liberty Coach does in-house, or do you source that stuff?
No, we source that out. So each coach is going to have a unique sconce on the bedroom, and they're all picked out by the client. It's interesting when I go up and I'm a part of the specking out of the units up north, and the amount of detail that we do on the hardware and the woods and the materials that go around the bullnosings and what have you. When people have come from other manufacturers and then come to us, they're like blown away at the detail that we do as far as picking everything out.
Still a large television here in the bedroom?
49-inch back here that you still have the ability to have window below and on either side of the slide room. Same thing in the head of the bed area. You've got a lot of drawer storage area here all throughout. Then we come into the bath and all the lighting that we have back there.
So bright back here.
I mean, there's one thing that ladies say is that, you know, we don't ever have enough light. There's not enough light. Well, we've got enough light. I think we have enough light.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
So we've got a lot of storage underneath the vanity area as well. This was a nice add on the Toto seat, heated seat, bidet unit. Storage all the way along here in the coach.
And can you open that side?
Yeah.
I wanted to just point out how bright it is, even inside of the cabinets. Is every nook and every
cabinet,
cranny is
every
lit?
cabinet, right? We have our electronics packages back here with the satellite receivers. We even have lighting back here, so for serviceability. So the Crestron systems, the audio, video, digital matrices the satellite receivers, your Apple TV units, all of that is in here. There's a cooling package for this back here as well.
Really like that black and gold pattern. That beautiful tile work in your shower here, and cool pattern back there. And what does Liberty Coach do, different in their showers than other coaches?
Okay, so one of the things that's blown quite a few people away when we take them through a shop tour up north is they'll look at this stainless steel pan that we've got and they go, what is that? It looks like a drain pan of some kind. And said, no, that's your shower pan. And they're like, you actually make a stainless steel pan for the shower drain arrangement, everything? I said, yeah. That is something that we have done forever in the coach, because we don't ever want to come back to a situation where you've got something that's happened that has now caused water to get into the outside of the shower because it's gotten through a wall board, because it's gotten through some tile, because something bad has happened. So we do a full stainless steel pan that we manufacture, we weld in-house, set in place, and then it's mudded, and then the tile goes down on it. The walls of the shower are all done in rock board, like they would be done in a home. This adds weight. There's no question it adds weight. But I don't have to worry about a coach that I'm going to take in on trade that's 20 plus years old that's going to have a shower problem, like so many of them do over a period of time. And you can see it leaks down into the bay. It's, there's all kinds of ugly, it smells, it's bad, it's whatever. This is issues that we don't have to deal with.
And how long has Liberty Coach been using those stainless or those steel shower structures?
I'm going to say that we have been doing that since coaches that we were building in the mid 80s. Now there were some shower stalls that we had, and we've been doing a lot of throwback pictures on social media that shows like a round cylindrical shower. Those came with their own pans that were a fiberglass, or they were some sort of a solid surfacing material that was utilized. But other than that, every other one that we did, if it was a half moon shower that was in the corner or a square, we always built our own stainless steel pan. Bay here, pretty similar to what we have done in the past. Slide out tray here. There's some unique storage items that were done here for the client for holding the wash brushes and the table that goes in the center area of the coach over the two ottomans. The other thing that we've changed is this cantilever door arrangement here, which gives us some more storage, more cabinet area as well here. We have an iPad that runs the lower section of the coach or the entire interior as well. We've got a 65-inch TV goes out here.
Now, in the past on quad slides, have you had the 65 before?
No, past quad slides had a 55-inch, and what they did was it would come out of a section of the body. And so to change things up from doing that long and to get a bigger TV, because we've been doing that arrangement since 2013, we came up with this new arrangement. Prevost doing the cantilever door setup here, and then this allowed us to get into a bigger TV.
Okay, then what all is going on here? We've got storage.
Well, we got refrigerator here. We've got drawer storage that's here, all the way along 3 drawers, and of course the TV. And the third bay here, we now have storage along here as well. Space for the Kenyon grill, and then drawer storage here.
And what's the bay height? You've got a lot of exterior storage here.
There's no question. On the Prevost, we have essentially about 40 inches of height on the bay height, as opposed to our competitor units that are out there, either the Class A's or the Newells, where the slide rooms are much lower. The bay height is much lower as well, so you're having to crawl underneath or get on your knees or what have you to get to it. So that's one thing that we do have on the Prevost that gives us a big advantage, is the additional height of the bays.
And then also the height of the slide out you mentioned. How high is the bottom of this quad slide from the ground?
I would have to suspect that it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5 feet.
Okay.
This bay here, special toolbox. This is all on a rollout that comes out with the toolbox itself. More storage here.
Now, I see some Milwaukee tools in here. Is that something that comes with the coach, and microfiber towels? Or?
No, that is all part of the client's things that they have already started to put into the coach.
Okay, so they're taking delivery right now?
They are.
Nice.
Fresh water compartment. Fresh water tank, stainless steel, 40-gallon water heater, water pump, the reverse osmosis Culligan filtration system, which goes to the refrigerator for the ice maker and also for the water dispenser on the refrigerator. Pressure washer system here.
Okay, and does this coach have deionized
Yes,
water
it does.
as well?
Yep. As soon as we get to the other side of the coach, there's a specific location that we have the DI tanks set up in a heated area to keep it from freezing.
Okay, and what's the power plant in this coach?
This is going to be a Volvo V13, 500 horse, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. Been a really, really good package for us for a number of years, and essentially since mid-2012.
Okay, and you know, some of the competitors out there are using 600 horsepower engines. What's the reason that Prevost chooses this engine over other engines?
The package that's here has the ability to run cooler. You could always put more to it. Like Prevost has said, you know, we could go ahead, or Volvo has said, we could do 600 horsepower. The problem being is that when you start to get up into that big horsepower, you have to have more cooling package. So by the time you get the cooling package, the engine package itself, you're probably throwing another 1,800 pounds possibly to the back end of the coach, and there's just not that kind of capacity with as much capacity as the coach has now to be able to put all that onto the back of the coach. We just can't. We wouldn't be able to do much of an interior at the end of the day.
Yeah, what's the gross vehicle weight of this coach?
This coach on a quad slide is going to be full of fuel, full of water, full in the holding tank as well. When we set them up, they're probably, it's going to be sitting right at about 53,500, 54,000.
And talking about the weight of this coach, what does Liberty Coach do different than other Prevost converters to make sure the weight's distributed evenly? I've heard Liberty Coach owners talk about that. Is there any rhyme and reason to how you build these coaches?
As we were walking down the side of the coach, I try and keep all of the heavy equipment toward the back of the coach. You've got more tire, more axle, keep all the heavy equipment toward the back. Now also when you start to add all the slide rooms to it, there's a balancing act that goes on there. Our battery systems, the Volta large energy packs, they're in the center of the coach, both fore and aft and side to side. So that balance is very critical. The wiring that we do in the coach, we try and keep everything on the heavy side down below the floor level of the main walkway of the coach to keep the center of gravity down. This keeps, again, the balance better all the way around. Also, how the cabinetry is built. The cabinetry is built in a very lightweight foam core material. Again, that pulled about 1,500 to 2,000 pounds out of the interior of the coach when my brother got that material, which we started doing when we first started doing slides back in 2001. So we've been at this for 21 years, trying to continually manage the weight by the different materials that we put into the coach.
And you recently celebrated your 50th anniversary here. Congratulations. I'll make sure to leave a link to the 50th anniversary video in the description below. Your family's been at it for 50 years?
Yeah.
Longest in the industry?
Yeah.
Or?
And everybody's still around.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad are still around, and my brother Kurt and I run the manufacturing and the dealership, sales and service aspect. His wife Kim does all the interior design. We've got our third generation in as well. We've got my son Alex, my brother's son Nick and Riley. They're involved in the company as well. My wife Denise is involved. So it's a very tight-knit group of what we do.
And your family's learned a lot over the last 50 years.
Yeah, we have.
Yes,
and we still continue to learn.
The Dean Laus paint job really commands a lot of attention, but I'm noticing some beautiful lighting going on. What type of lighting do you have, exterior lighting on this coach?
We have the undercarriage LED lighting, and then we incorporated it into the back of the door behind our treatment that we do as well, just to give it a different look, a different feel. You know, the Dean Laus paint job obviously makes all of our coaches stand out from the rest of the field, but our touches here at night really light it up well.
What does Liberty Coach do after you get it from Prevost?
Well, start with the Prevost side of it. Now we've been running 3 years, coming on a little over 3 years now with the electric fan cooling package, which eliminated some weight. It also increased a little bit of the horsepower to the ground because we no longer have the direct drive package for the engine fan. There's electric fans now that run in different directions to keep the engine cool. It's been really successful. One thing that we do is the belt guard arrangement here. We build that to cover the system up. Some people like to have it on it, some people don't, but it keeps everything nice and clean, keeps it protected as well. We have our alternator package back here, which is 2 of the 58 volt alternators. They're 10,000 kW each, so we can charge back the Volta system that we have on board from 20% of charge to 100% of charge in about 2.5 hours of driving down the road. So you got 20,000 kW of alternator pumping back into the batteries. This allows you to be able to run 3 of the 4 AC units, the roof air is going down the road at any time without running the generator. You can run the microwave, the 220 mealy microwave oven unit. You can run off the inverter package. You can also run your washer and dryer if you wanted to going down the road. This is something unique to Liberty Coach. We've got 3 5,000 watt inverter units that are coupled to the Volta 58 volt lithium ion package, which is then also coupled to the alternator package here as well.
As we're talking here, I'm noticing this belt tensioner here, and this is something I don't see in other Class A motorhomes. What is that?
The belt tensioner aspect is because the Prevost bus is built to do 2.5 to 3 million miles in its lifetime. So they build the coach to make the serviceability for the commercial industry and the tour operators a lot more convenient. So we have the air belt tightening system on board because it keeps the constant pressure, constant tension on these belts so that they have a longer life. So you're not throwing belts off all the time because you forget to tighten the belts up or you don't check them like you should regularly. So that is a big feature that we've had for many, many years. You may have seen these devices. There's 3 of them down each side of the coach. This is a Liberty Coach exclusive. This is our blind spot detection system that we've had on board since the 21 model year. This system is a radar-based system that catches vehicles about a lane to a lane and a half away from you, and it runs from just about the driver's window to about 20 feet behind the coach. And there's light indicators that'll come on the left windshield post and the right windshield post to indicate when you have a vehicle or an obstruction, something there along the side. These devices, being radar-based, are not affected by weather such as snow, mud, rain, any of those obstacles as compared to other devices that are out there. It's been super reliable. Our water bay here, this has always been a big hit for people. We've been doing this for well over 25 years. Stainless steel fresh water tank, our polished copper arrangement here for the gray water bypass. We've got a 100-foot electric water hose reel. We also have a washout device here that you pull out. It's a hand sprayer for cleaning out the sewer hoses and whatever else you'd like to do out in this area. One thing again unique with the Prevost bus, you have the ability to fuel on both sides of the coach. And talking about fuel, we carry the most amount of fuel of any RV in the industry. We are sitting at 238 gallons of fuel. Once again, you can fuel from side to side. The other thing that's very nice is if you've seen some of these other units that are out there, since we've had to use DEF now, diesel exhaust fluid, since the mid-2012, most of them have this DEF thing somewhere else to try and fill it up, which is very, very difficult to work with at a truck stop as far as that goes. You can do DEF and fuel in the same location.
And how big is the DEF tank?
DEF is, I believe it's about 16 liters, so you can run the coach from LA to New York on 1 tank of DEF. So essentially about 2.5 tankfuls of diesel to 1 DEF.
And what type of fuel mileage? I know a lot of people don't ask that question, but what type of fuel mileage do these coaches get?
If you're not towing, you're probably going to see somewhere in the 7s that we've seen on this engine. If you're towing, you're probably in that 6 to 6.5. I have a stacker trailer that I pull behind the coach most of the time. With that, I'm probably running 5.5 to 6. This was the other unique part that we did. We talked about the DI filtration system for the pressure washer. This is the rechargeable DI tanks that are here. We got this bin storage here, and then we also made a small closet arrangement, exterior closet arrangement as well.
Nice.
And this whole area in here is then heated for the extreme temperatures that coaches can get into without having to worry about taking the DI tanks out. Our generator set up here. It's an enclosure that we build in-house. We have a 12.5 kW Onan. We were able to downsize the generator when we went to the 58 Volta energy packs, which we've been doing now since the 2017 model year. We're getting into 6 years on that system now. It's been extremely successful. We've got Coach 806 was the first one. This happens to be Coach 891. So we're getting close to 90 units out there with that in there specifically.
And how are folks missing the 20 kW generators that Liberty Coach had before? Or
most of the people that have them don't even know why they have a generator, because they're just not using it, because they've been able to go such great lengths of time on the battery packs. For an example, you can run 2 of the roof air units when it's warm outside and be able to use the interior of the coach as well for probably about 8.5 to 9 hours before the generator is going to start to recharge. If you're running 1 AC, you can be upwards of 15 hours. People are seeing these long dry camping times that they can do, and they're just not missing that aspect of it.
And how long has Liberty Coach been using lithium batteries?
I started putting them in 2010, and we were exclusive and specific to doing the lithium-ion packages since then. That was a different company, Mastervolt. They were a 24-volt arrangement, smaller units, and I originally did this to be able to cut some more weight out of the coach. And then Volta came to me in 2016 to try out their system. It's much more powerful, much bigger capacity. In fact, if you were to take the 8D size batteries that you typically find in a Class A or a regular motorhome, you'd have to have 38 of them to be able to get even close to what these 2 packs do. And then if you were to run them down, you've lost your capacity. These units come to us at 90% efficiency, and after 2,500 cycles, which most of them don't even see that after a 10-year period, you go down to about 80% efficiency. We believe with the amount of time that we've got on these units now, that we're probably going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 years in the life expectancy of the package.
And getting that type of efficiency, I know a lot of folks are wondering right now, do you think an all-electric, motorized by electric coaches in the future anytime soon?
Well, they just announced here in the last month and a half, Prevost has gotten a pretty good grant and a lot of investment that Volvo and Prevost are doing to build an actual full electric coach. I don't think that it's going to be something for us in the conversion industry, motorhome industry. It's going to be more of a city type bus arrangement, but it is definitely on the horizon.
Do you any timeline when folks can expect to see even the city buses?
I don't know exactly what their production part of it is. I would imagine that those first ones would be coming out, I would think, within the next couple of years.
Very cool.
Second bay here, top, we have the battery management system for the Volta. It shows you the state of charge. It's a gauge. Nice to have an actual visible gauge that you can look at. So if electronics starts to hiccup or wireless things, you can't really tell where you're at. It's nice to have a gauge as well. Very clean here. There's only 6 fuses that are on this coach. Everything else is done through a touch screen with resettable electronic circuit breakers. And then the first bay here on the driver's side, you can get a better idea of the management system that was built here for the cleaning supplies. And this is a table arrangement that sits on top of the ottomans that are in the coach for a different additional space. Rollouts that are in the floor of the bays, we build those in-house, so we have the lowest profile so that you have the most interior height as well.
So Frank, when someone gets to this level, they can choose pretty much any motor coach in the world. Why should someone choose to purchase a Liberty coach over anything else?
Andrew, a lot of it comes down to the quality of what we build, without question. The quality of the coach, we touched on it earlier. My family's been in this now for 50 years. We are users of the coach. We're also builders. We're involved with the customers on a daily basis. I answer the phone if there's a service issue. We know what's going on in their lives as far as utilizing a coach. But probably, again, the biggest number one feature of why people should buy or build with us is the quality of what we build. You can go through this coach probably 14 different times and you'll see something different of what we do that nobody else does. I look at it sometimes and think, why did we do it that way? We didn't have to. There's an easier way. There's a quicker way to do it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't come out as nice. It doesn't have the same feel to it. Comfort of when you drive the coach down the road, and again, we go back to the no squeaks and no rattles. You drive this piece of equipment down the road, it should be effortless. You don't want to have all this pressure of noises and stuff opening up and all kinds of different things that people deal with. The coach drives and runs down the road so effortlessly as it is. The interior should be the same. So our ability to build a unit, my brother's ability to design a floor plan, to design how the interior goes together, to make sure that behind the scenes that we have a very strong piece that's going to last a very long time. You may see out there now, there's a 1994 Liberty XL 45 foot that's for sale. That's Charlie Daniels' coach. That coach has got over 1.5 million miles on it. Unfortunately, we lost Charlie almost 2 years ago, but we delivered that coach new to him. It had everything that he wanted in it, and they traveled in that coach 280 days a year. That coach is still out on the, could still and will be still out on the road. No other converter can say that.
And he was using that all the way up until he passed away?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So, you know, there's the service aspect is huge for us, how we take care of the customer, the attention to detail in that part as well. When you bring the coach in for service, being communicated with as far as how things are going, being communicated with when the coach is being built. The comfort level, again, that you have dealing with us is above and beyond. We set the bar for that. We set the bar for everything that we do. When you look at the outside, it's the first thing that you see when you walk up to the coach, or it's the first thing that you see as the coach is driving past you on the highway, is the outside paint design. Dean Laux and I have been friends for well over 30 years. Back in 2012, we talked together about doing some work, just maybe some design work, and then Prevost do the application. We figured out that wasn't going to work so well. So then I made the decision, or we made the decision, to go ahead and have Dean do all of our coaches. And he's been exclusive for Liberty Coach since the 2012 year model. When you walk up to the coach, you can definitely see a difference. When you go to an event, like we went to a Prevost Proud event here recently, immediately they stand out. And now you can see there's other companies out there that are trying to copy it. But the design work that he does continually evolves. It's just like looking at the outside of this coach. It's different than anything else that's out there now. The next one that's coming off is different than anything else out there. So there's no copying any part of it. He continues to evolve as well as we do.
If someone is a serious buyer and they want to order a new Liberty coach and build a new Liberty coach, or purchase a pre-owned Liberty coach, which not a lot of coaches available right now.
Not a lot out there, that's for sure.
But who should they get a hold of if they want to own a Liberty coach?
So the best thing to do is to go on the website. You can see the inventory that we have on there. You can call in at 800-554-9877. You can also email in to coachsales@libertycoach.com, and somebody's going to get back to you right away. I distribute those out to our sales guys as soon as they come in, so we're on top of it all the time. And like anything else, our communication is paramount.
Frank, I greatly appreciate you sharing with myself and the folks on YouTube this beautiful coach. I also greatly appreciate all of you out there on YouTube subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Andrew, it's great seeing you again, and thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it.